let's go ahead and give, instead of drawing pictures, Sean, let's go ahead and give her a round of applause.
Hey Sean, you're going to, hey Sean, where, what?
Okay, so go ahead, start over.
Hey Sean, you're going to school for law. No, art isn't a real major. And Anna, you need to get your head out of the clouds and start working if you really want to get into NYC. And Pam, I know that the major that you really want to take isn't at Brown, but that's where our whole family went, so that's where you'll be going. This is the reality for some students at our school. Hello ladies and gentlemen and fellow peers at ISB. My name is Victoria Alexander. I'm a junior at the International School of Bangkok, and I'm here today to talk about a problem that is very much present at our school. The pressure from others influencing our decisions in school. Raise your hand if you feel pressured in school. I sent out a survey a couple of weeks ago to 100 juniors and seniors at our school. And just like you, 98% of them said that they feel pressured. Another 92% said that this pressure came from parents, teachers, and or peers. As a fellow student, I can understand with the pressure that you are all getting continuously from everyone that surrounds you to be the best. We constantly have pressure being put on us, whether it's for school, sports, clubs, or family. There's constantly some form of stress on us. We are constantly badgered by our parents to get good grades, put onto a podium as an older sibling to be a role model for our younger siblings, expected as a youngest sibling to never make the same mistakes as our older ones, expected as a teammate to go above and beyond to be the biggest asset we can to our team, and continuously reminded by our peers of the importance of going to a good college. But why are we stressing ourselves out day in and day out, trying to meet goals and expectations that aren't even our own? Out of the survey that I took, over 50% of the people who filled it out said that they base their decisions for the future on what their parents want or would want them to do. That means that this entire half of the classroom, yes, all of you, decided on what class you were going to take, where you were going to go to college, or what major you were going to take based on what your parents wanted you to do, not necessarily based on what you want to do. Older generations, sorry adults, are telling us that we need to grow up and get a good education because we will soon be the ones running the world. But how can they not see that the most important thing we can do right now as high school students is make our own decisions, experiment, try new things, live. We should be living our lives the way that we see fit, not by a plan that others have drawn up for us. And yet, more oftentimes than not, people pressure us into doing things that we do not necessarily want to do, but things that they make us believe that we should do. As we move up in school, college becomes one more stress to add to the load. It is no longer seen as something exciting to look forward to, but instead seen as something for people to put pressure on us about and judge us for. I saw it in my brother every day on his arduous journey through first semester senior year, where he had to balance school, sports, clubs, time with friends and family that he won't see in a year, and the strenuous process that is college apps. And through it all, my parents were constantly badgering him about how he needed to choose a major. And simply saying, I don't know, wasn't good enough for them. They felt that he needed a path. He needed to know what he was going to do for the rest of his life. So he eventually gave in and decided on a major so that he seemed, although he doesn't, as though he had a path for the future. When in reality, he's like so many of us here today, completely unsure about the future and the unknown. There are so many of us under such high stress at the school, and myself included, and I continuously find myself asking, what for? For myself or an image? For myself or my parents? For myself or others' expectations? More times than not, how we do in life is based on the games we won, the colleges we graduated from, or our positions at jobs, but nothing by things that truly matter. No one's going to look at my college resume and see how I helped my friend through a hard time in her life. No one's going to look at my college resume and see the changes I've made in someone's day just by paying them a compliment. No one's going to look there and see the power of spending time with friends and family, but does that make them unimportant? No. So I encourage you, my fellow peers at ISB, to go out and try that one class that has always fascinated you. Don't let the label of IB, HL, or SL get in the way of your curiosity. Go to college for art if that's what your true passion is. Not to become a doctor because it'll pay the bills or it will make your parents happy. Go out and meet new friends and expand your group of friends, because what do you have to lose? Go and put down your pencil and close your computer and go spend time with friends and family, because before you know it, they'll be half a world away, and the only way you'll be able to communicate with them is through a screen. Let us make mistakes and try new things. Let us determine our own fate and draw up our own map for the future. Let us persevere through and show the skeptics that we can make it and we will make it. Let us decide. Okay, so in part one of this course called Language and Cultural Context, I decided to look at how speeches could affect us and be used as a catalyst for change. And in doing so, I wanted to see how my speech could empower all of you to make changes in your own life. I started out my speech with an anecdote, or in my speech I used an anecdote from my home life, using my brother as an example. And in doing so, it enhanced my pathos because it made you feel more connected to me and emotionally connected to me, because you could see someone in my life who's affected by this. And you yourself can connect to this, because although it doesn't connect to you as it pertains to a major, maybe it pertains to you as a college that you want to graduate or go to, or a class that you want to take that your parents won't allow you to take. I use statistics that I got myself that were pertain to our community, that pertain to our class and the class above us. So instantly you are more engaged into my TED Talk because it specifically applies to our community, rather than if it was a broad, more generalized statistics from all pertaining to all teens. With this enhanced my logos because it's real and it's here and you can understand it. I used audience participation. Right from the beginning, I drew you in. I singled people out. Sorry, people I singled out. And I asked you to raise your hands, and I singled out parts of the room, because then you instantly see people who are actually connected to this. And people are actually able to see how maybe this pertains to someone next to you. Or even though it doesn't actually pertain to you necessarily, maybe it pertains to someone in your family or a friend. And you're instantly more entranced into my TED Talk. My tone was casual yet uplifting. I wanted you to be able to connect to me and understand me. And so I used I and me continuously throughout my speech, showing that I myself can connect to this problem. I also used we, us, and our, so that I drew all of you in and shows that all of you as a community are affected by this as well. I also used a very uplifting tone because I wanted all of you to feel empowered to make changes in your life that maybe at this point you don't feel like you can do. When looking at the other speeches throughout our unit a couple units ago, the one thing that caused me to think about a speech over and over again was repetition. It's the one thing that caused me to think about something continuously, because it was something that reoccurred throughout the speech. And the one speech that did that to me was Martin Luther King's speech with I Have a Dream. And so in doing so, I wanted to make you think about my speech over and over again and reiterate a certain claim and speech. And so in my speech, I reused the word go multiple times throughout the end of the speech to make you feel like you need to get up and do something and make a change right now. I also repeated let us, so that it connects us all together and brings us all together. And I also used visuals, which were like one word, one number, and one picture, so that even though you could see it, it connected to my speech, but it didn't take away or draw away from what I was saying. So to end my speech, I would like to leave you with a thought. In a couple years, when you're looking back on your life, do you want to be living in someone else's dream or your own? Your future is yours for the making. Go out and make mistakes. It's okay, good even. They help us to learn. And to end it, I would like to leave you with a quote that has really been applicable to my life. Thank you.
Well, that's one way to end our TED Talks in this class. Wow. Questions for Tori?